Well, talking about how to meet up with that projection and that of the World Bank and other projections, the government certainly has many roles to play. One of it is programs that will aid economic growth. And so the Export Expansion Facility program, a one-year scheme launched by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council is one of those. It was launched in January 2021, and they say they have disbursed direct grants to non-oil exporters under the federal government's 2.3 trillion naira Economic Sustainability Plan, the NESP. As the program gets close to its end, a year, since it started, except extended or otherwise, we have one of the beneficiaries, Mr. Ndukaude. He's the Chief Executive Officer, Export and Sell. He's a beneficiary of the 2021 Export Expansion Program. And he talks to us as the program winds down now, some of the impacts on his business, and where he thinks can be improved on in case the government decides to extend it. Good to have you on the show, Mr. Ode. Good morning.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us, they said they've disbursed, I think, about 5 billion naira or 50 billion naira.
50 billion.
50
yes.
billion naira
yes.
within January 2021 to,
Yes.
2022 now. And you are one of the beneficiaries.
Sure.
Tell us how this has affected you. How much of the 50 billion did you get?
Well, I'll say it has been a great help to us. The facility was one that came as a shock to me, and the openness in which it was disbursed was also amazing. I just got a call from somebody at the NEPC, one of the directors, and they said, we've seen what you are doing, export and sell, that we have been training businesses and showing them how to export, that there's a facility available out there for us to tap into. And we applied within 2 weeks. We got a call from the coordinator of the program, a lady by the name of Maureen. And that was it, Now, the grant we got has been amazing because, one, it has enabled us to scale our training. Where we were training about 1,000 Nigerian businesses on how to export, this year we are looking at training over 10,000 businesses, and that has been made possible through that grant. So part of the conditions they gave us was that we need to be able to take it, with where the world is going, to take that program from being a physical training into a virtual one so that people, Nigerians, businesses from everywhere can log on, train, and that is some of the things we're doing. They also enabled us to set up the first Amazon export warehouse, because what we do basically is we help Nigerian businesses to put their products to sell on Amazon. And, so the grant helped in that regard. Not only, we have also been able to set up a dedicated training facility in VI. So instead of us traveling, renting facilities, paying 1 million to rent a facility to train businesses, we now have, through this grant, a facility in the heart of Nigeria, in the heart of the business center of this country, where we are able to train all sorts of businesses, So it's been an amazing scheme. I think.
When did you join in? When did you start?
Well, I think we applied sometime in July. We got the funding sometime in August. So from August till now, we've been able to achieve all these things. And there's still a lot more to do, because...
Okay, so when you say that you got a call, I mean,
Yes.
because truth be told,
Yes.
a lot of Nigerians do not trust programs that come from the government.
I don't trust it either until this.
Yeah, so somebody would expect, you mentioned Maureen, maybe
Yes.
you're related to her,
Yeah.
or, so how, I mean, did you just stay on your own and they stumbled on your data and reached out to you?
Yes.
And all that?
Over the years, we've been working with the NEPC. So I got to know one of their directors, Mr. Faleke. He's, one of those that is very passionate about export. And he knows what we do. He came to some of our events. We hold events all over the country, training businesses on how to export, sell in the USA, and how to get their products, how to find them buyers all over the US. And he came to one of our training, and that was just it. He was impressed with what we were doing. He gave me a call, said, apply for this. I went there. I have not known Maureen in any way. And that's how we got it. And surprisingly, when they gave us the first batch, when we opened the Amazon Export Warehouse, the former ED of the NEPC, Mr. Shegu Awolowo, came to commission it. And when he saw what we had done within a very short period, he approved for us to get the second batch. And it is that second batch we have now used to set up the training facility in VI that we are now using to train medium and large businesses on how to export.
So is this grant all about training?
No. So one of the things you see when you're talking about export is that a lot of Nigerian businesses do not know the right process to export. And that's why you have agencies like NAFDAC complaining that, you know, they keep getting reports that Nigerian products are being rejected outside.
Yes.
So the training, let me give an example. When we started our program, helping people sell products on Amazon, we had people who were sending things that could not be listed. You know, so you have people who will send copyrighted items, you know, have people who send Mickey Mouse bed sheet and pillowcase, and you can't list that on Amazon because those are trademark infringement. So we saw that training was a huge component. A lot of Nigerian businesses don't know the licenses they need to sell in the US, to sell in Europe. So that training became a key. We had to put a hold on the whole process, and until we train you, show you the ways that things ought to be done before you can come on board the platform. So it's not just about training. They have other facilities. They've been able to do export warehousing in various countries and so many things. I know they have done a lot. But for us, we are not just about training. We are about showing you the way, taking your products there, finding buyers for you, expanding the market for businesses to sell in the U.S. And that's what it is.
So do the coordinators of the program, the organizers of the export expansion program, do they do a follow-up? Do they work with you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So we have...
It's a grant, so you're not paying back.
Yes, we are not. But before they give you the grant, you sign an agreement with them that says, this is what you're going to use it for. So when we did the first draw, before they gave us the second draw, they actually verified that we had used the first draw to do what we were supposed to use it for. We had set up the warehouse, we had, bought computers, we've trained staffs and all those things. So it's not just like free money. Even though you don't pay back, you still have to show that you use that money judiciously.
Are there consequences?
There is, because it's stated there in the contract, But again, you bring up a very good point, and that is, when I heard that they are winding down the program, I was like, I think that's a wrong move by government. You don't throw 50 billion at people and then you wind down the program, and the program does not have a way to monitor the utilization of those funds after it's wound down. I think this should be a program that is annually on the budget of the NEPC or whoever it is. Because, take us for example, from the return on investment calculation I've done on this, for every dollar that they gave us, we are going to bring in over $1,000 in export, because now companies that were dormant, that didn't know how to go about export, how to find buyers, are now able to. So I don't think it's a scheme that should be wound down. It should actually be a scheme that should be extended so that when they give you funds, they are able to come in and see that you actually utilize the funds. We don't want people buying cars out of such funds when it's supposed to be used to grow the country's non-oil export.
Okay, I think you touched a little bit on this because earlier this week we had a discussion on, the non-oil export. In fact, the Shippers Association complained that they claim that over 80% of our exported goods are rejected, agro-allied exported goods, because of issue of packaging, of quality, even from the pre-harvest, post-harvest, and all that. So is the program doing anything about it?
Well, when we talk about the rejection of goods abroad, again, that's where that training component comes in. People need to know how to package goods before they send them out. And again, this is where I think the activities of some of the agencies that are supposed to help export needs to be improved upon. So let me give an example. NAFDAC, for example. NAFDAC is responsible for food and drugs, cosmetics, all those things to be exported. If you have a simpler process working with NAFDAC to get your products exported, a lot of people will not go through the back door to sneak products outside of the country. And that is what is causing a lot of this. And it's not just NAFDAC. You talk about SON, Standard Organizations of Nigeria. Are the processes to know if your product is export ready so easy? Those are some of the challenges why people prefer to just pack anything they see and give it to some of these exporters. So the training still is a vital component of export. If people don't know the right way to package, there's no way they are going to do it the right way.
Yeah, but before the packaging, they also talk about farmers.
Yes.
The farming process, the process of getting the crops out,
Yes.
of sunning the crops, and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that has any, it depends on what you are shipping, really. If you are shipping processed foods, then you have to go through the process of making sure it's well packaged. But if you are shipping unprocessed foods, then that doesn't really come in. Because there are certain buyers who will buy the processed, they buy the unprocessed, so I don't think that is an aspect of the farmers. I still think our agencies, because again, we're talking about NEPC and the EEFP. NEPC is not the only person who has a key role for export. In fact, they have a very limited role when you talk about export. Their key role is training and facilitation, and I think they are doing an excellent job. But when it comes to the other agencies that are supposed to help, that is where we have a big problem. And until these agencies are made more efficient, we will continue to just talk about export without realizing the benefit.
So from your perspective, agencies such as NAFDAC, such as SON,
even the customs,
even customs, because a lot of exporters talk about the bureaucracy and the regulators they have to go through.
Yes.
And then of course you also have activities around the ports.
Yes.
We still have a lot of manual processing around the port. I spoke to an exporter some time ago, and he told me how that I think had cashew, and before he could export it, it started having.
Let me give you an example. The biggest African food market seller in the U.S., one Mr. Philip Odushote, is a Nigerian. He wanted to export yams to the USA, right? The container got to the port. It spent close to 3 to 4 weeks before he could get clearance to export it.
And the
now,
yam
what
is
happened? The yam started spoiling. By the time it got to the U.S., a lot of it had spoiled. Now, when you bring in things into the U.S. and they see rotten things, you know what they do? They have to burn that whole container. And you, the exporter, will have to pay for the burning.
And you even be blacklisted.
He had to pay close to $5,000 to burn to do that. You know what he did? He went to set up a facility in Ghana. So now a Nigerian is now feeding the Ghanaian economy because of the inefficiencies you have with some of these agencies. That is what is killing us. Take the US, for example. 70% of the foods, the processed foods you see on the shelves of African stores are coming from places like Ghana.
Sure.
Yet, about 80% of the buyers are Nigerians. So what are we doing? We really, look, it's the presidency or whoever needs to come and have a way to monitor all these agencies so that they work together.
Are the regulators
there is no
too much? Is it there's no coordination or they are too much?
Look, you see, I'm passionate about food and cosmetics because there is a lot to do there. From my own calculation, we as a country, we are losing about $500 million monthly due to the inefficiencies of some of these agencies. Now, you don't really blame some of them. Let me give you an example. When I noticed some of these issues, I had a meeting with the DG of NAFDAC. And we discussed some of these things. And you discover that to a large extent, some of the issues they face may not really be their problem. If you look at the law, the enabling law that formed NAFDAC, some of the requirements in that act is not friendly to export. So, for example, you have products that you are supposed to export to the international market. These products, the regulation, the act that forms NAFDAC does not allow you to list some of the benefits of that product. So you have a product from Ghana, shea butter, for example, saying it removes blemishes and all those things. But that from Nigeria, because of the enabling law, does not allow you to state that. Which product do you think the vast majority of foreigners are going to take? So obviously, we need to take a deep look into all of these things.
The laws that empower these agents. So it's not
some
just
of them
about
are
the operations
archaic.
Okay.
They need to be relooked at. You know, there's a lot going on, you know.
A lot is going on, obviously, and unfortunately, Nigeria is losing a whole lot.
We are losing
So when we talk about
millions.
diversifying the economy, these are some of the factors that actually truncate the efforts of the government that we see, you know, up here. Thank you so much, Ms. Andu Kaude, Chief Executive Officer of Export and Sell and beneficiary of the Export Expansion Program for 2021.
Thank you so much.
We do wish you the best, and we appreciate your passion, and we hope we will see it materialize into
I pray so. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes.
So we'll take a break now. After the break, Apex Commodity Market is next. To stay with us. It's Business Morning on Channels Television.